There we are. Hi to hello, my friends.
Hey, y'all.
Lester and Jamie here. Cheers, Jamie.
So
Don't get too close to me with that cup, and I'll tell you why. Somebody has gone off and got sick on me.
I'm not sick.
Well, Jamie never claims to be as sick as she actually is, but it started yesterday or the day before yesterday when she was sneezing a lot. That must have been Friday. And then I think it turned into her. She had watery eyes.
I still have a watery eye. So I actually think it's allergies. I don't think I'm sick, like and contagious sick.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. And then this morning she woke up. She just didn't really feel 100%. She didn't feel 100%. And she was kind of like achy. And I'm like, oh no.
Well, the weather's changing. So like there's a cold front coming in and my whole body feels it. Like I can tell you it's coming. In fact, that was the indicator. And then I looked at the weather. So I'm fine. I'm totally fine.
Well, you know what's funny about that is that even poor Tina, our ostrich, is letting us know we got weather coming in because everyone knows that she has a little bit of arthritis in her knee, both of her knees, but one more than the other. And every year during the winter, she really starts hobbling around.
Well, I noticed it in Voodoo today as well. Like he's moving slow and, just all of us old folks over here, I can feel it. Like there's some cold creeping in. That's what I'll say.
Well, I spent 3 hours in the truck today driving. So my aches and pains are not from the cold weather coming in. It's just from sitting for so long, just sitting and just driving and driving. But that's my Sundays for you. Anywho's, we're happy to have y'all joining us. I want to rewind the video where we first started.
I was just going to ask you because I think I saw somebody in there and I think it's that guy. Is that the guy you called Eric?
Okay, so yes. Let me tell a little bit of the backstory, and I know that I'm not going to embarrass he or his wife, but I was. This is Jeff. This is not Eric. This is Jeff. And let me tell you all the story. Let me go ahead and remove that. I feel so embarrassed, but his sweet wife messaged me about a week ago and said that she feels weird reaching out, and all this kind of stuff. She's not asking for anything, but she just wanted to talk and let us know what's going on with her wonderful husband. And she told me, she wrote a lengthy paragraph that I was just intrigued, kept reading and reading. But her story, I think, is really similar to a lot of people in the fact that she has a husband who just adores her and has always supported her in every facet of life, right? Even when she found this weird obsession with watching these videos from this crazy man named Uncle Wetter and Jamie Cakes and all the gang. And she just starts watching these videos. And then at some point she noticed that her husband, because he's so loving and supportive, would have to sit there and listen to her every morning, talk about what's going on with Lester, what's going on with these darn babies, what's going on with, the whole crew over here. And she said that at some point, she could tell that he was just kind of like, it's not really his thing, but he loves her so much. And he enjoyed, the fact that she was finding a really happy place that he began to look over her shoulder. And sometimes she said that he would even end up watching the videos before she did so that he could tell her what was going to happen if she happened to miss it. And I thought that was so sweet that that kind of love and that kind of support from a partner, even when it's something that you're into and he's not, or vice versa. But then it gets kind of sad because she said that Jeff, that's the fella's name, came down with, he began to get kind of sick. And when they finally went in, it was, I guess, diagnosed with a very rare form of cancer, one that it was going to require immediate surgery. And it was just a really tough week for that sweet lady and her husband, because she said for the first time and for as long as she can remember, she no longer had him to support her. And in fact, she had to try to find a way to be the support system for him. So the morning that I was telling that story, I was on a live and I feel so embarrassed that I got his name wrong. And I was calling him Eric. I don't know why.
Here's this powerful moment. And this heartfelt story, this lady reached out and was, thanking Lester. And Lester pulls Lester.
Well, hold on. So towards the end of the live, okay, the dogs are barking. Towards the end of the live, I says, wait a minute. I don't think his name is Eric. I think his name is Jeff. And I'm saying, y'all, I couldn't go look it up because I'm on a live video and I'm using my phone, and you can't pause a live video to go look up stuff on your phone. So I says, just say your prayers for Eric and Jeff and let God will sort it all out. God will figure out who's who. Just say your prayers for every Eric and every Jeff that you know. And it was cute.
For this guy's brain.
I know. I'm losing it. I'm losing my marbles, like the lady said. But Dr. Baker said that. I'm losing my marbles. But the thing is, it was cute because I was reading the comments on that video later, and there were a lot of people. One lady says, go ahead and say your prayers for Eric. She says, my son's name is Eric, and he can use all the prayers he can get. So ended up where that fella's name was Jeff. We figured that out. And I really do feel for Jeff and guys like Jeff who have to put up with us because their partners find something they enjoy with a bunch of silly animals and a couple of silly caretakers of those animals. And then your poor husbands have to sit there and put up with all this stuff. And they probably get sick and tired of hearing you talk about Lester this and Jamie this and Lester this and Jamie this.
That would be
and
like
Ringo
me asking you to watch like
Katie Van Slythe. Not going to do it.
Elise
not going to
Myers.
do it. Not going to do it.
Cog Hill.
Okay, I'll watch some Cog Hill. I'll beat you to Cog Hill.
Like gardening Cog Hill?
Not going to do it. No, I'll watch a dancing.
See,
I'll watch a dancing Cog Hill.
That's what I mean. Like,
or an animal Cog Hill. But no, it's beautiful how you support your people that you're close to. And you guys do please keep that family in your prayers. And his name is Jeff. I got that straight. But if you want to pray for Eric too, then I promise you there's plenty of Erics out there that could use the prayers. Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So Jamie, what's going on with you today? I know there was a big day over at the Morrow Hill. You want to talk about that? Or are you going to make us wait for the video?
Well, I didn't make a video of today.
Oh, you did not?
No.
Oh.
I only made a video of yesterday in my preparation for today. So today was Carter's birthday party that I went to. I did not video that today. I did get to meet a horse today. I know.
Paris?
I did get to meet Paris today and Willow for the first time. I had not met
Paris
Willow.
has been sick. How is it a he or she?
She.
It's a she. How is Paris feeling?
We got to see her graze today for the first time. So that was a big improvement. And then I talked to Jake a little bit about like things to try as far like he's getting her meds is really hard. And I remember that with Dixie. So we talked through some of those things and she really is a very gentle horse.
You should tell Jake to offer her a beer. I did
not tell him.
You should tell him to offer the horse a beer and do it on video and watch people be mean to him for a change.
Oh, that's pretty mean.
Now, I don't know, depending on what meds though, are all horses that are sick able to have a beer, or is that just certain things? I know that Dixie had colicky issues, right? Or tummy issues?
Dixie had metabolic issues. And tumor issues.
Boy, I've got that wrong so many times. I'm so sorry.
No, Paris has a respiratory infection and has some worms, but she's on antibiotics, so she probably shouldn't have a beer till she's off those antibiotics.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just like humans, Not that a beer would hurt her or anything like that, but she's got enough going on with tummy, like antibiotics upset your tummy anyway, so she just needs to have as little variety as possible right now.
Well, that's good. If she had the energy to get up and graze, that must be it. That's good.
That was a really neat thing to be able to see. I got to see the baby today, so baby Jake, not any baby animals, baby Jake, and of course Carter and Cash, and then there were a ton of other kids there that I did not know from Laramie's side and Lou's side of the family. I have a really embarrassing story. So I'm sitting next to your dad. It is loud. Okay. So the bounce house is in Bree's garage. The bounce house blower is going. There's kids screaming. There are 5 or 6 different groups of people talking and people are pulling up and it's normal Morrow Hill sounds, everything like this. And this gentleman comes up and he's standing next to your dad, but he's talking to me and he goes, how do y'all like your property? It's right on the river. Did it flood? And he knows like everything about our lives. I have no idea who this man is, but he knows everything about my life. So as he turns away, I lean over to your dad. I was like,
who is that?
Who is that? And your dad goes, I don't know.
So it wasn't Cuz then. That's Cuz is my dad's friend and cousin. Okay, no, it wasn't Cuz.
So your dad thinks about it for a minute and he looks over at the other people and he's like piecing together people.
No. Yeah, we've all done that, y'all. Don't say you haven't done that too.
But it's my first Bree and Laramie family party to go to, you know? So of course I know all the Morrows there, but this man knows about my life. Like he knows about the river. He knows about my new horse. He knows things. So instantly I'm like, surely if he's like somebody from the page, like somebody would have called out that there's a stranger here. He's related to someone, you know? Well, it turns out that your dad pieces it together that it is indeed a relative of Lou's. But it took a long time because there were so many people there today.
I'm guessing
it was pretty funny.
So the only relative of Lou who would know us would be her brother named Bubba. I don't know his real name. They call him Bubba, and he works at Discount Tire.
That's how your dad put it together. He goes, he works at Discount Tire.
He's a manager at the Discount Tire. And so that's where all the family goes to get their tires done.
Wait, I see people saying that they saw my cake already. I didn't show my cake. How did you all see the cake?
Bree must have let the secret out. She must have already uploaded it.
It's okay.
So Jamie did. She spent all day yesterday making.
It's an 8-hour cake. It was ridiculous.
And when I got home yesterday evening, there were cupcakes. So I'm going to kind of say this. Don't be mad when I say this.
No.
But so she goes, I got you some cupcakes in the microwave. I'm like, oh, nice. I come to find out that when I come to the kitchen and I'm looking through everything, I see all these real pretty cupcakes already in these little Tupperware containers ready to be taken over. And then the microwave was all of this. So all of the rejects, all the ones that did not make the cut, the ones that collapsed, the ones that when you pull them out of the tray, they fell apart. So she just took all of those and like, Lester will eat it. Lester will eat it. And so I'm taking this paper plate full of what she said were cupcakes.
There were cupcakes in there.
So I saw globs of things. And then so I come over here and I get my glass of milk and I come to the couch and I'm watching TV, the news, you know how I am at night. And before I go to bed, and she goes, you want some icing on those? I'm like, no. So I had them with a fork. I sit there and ate them with a fork.
There were icings on the cupcakes, but not on the cake.
So there was still the paper from the cupcakes, and it was all a part of the glob. And I'm having like just take my fork and peel off some paper and take the other fork and try to.
Did you die?
No, it was good. They were delicious.
It was homemade icing.
But there was no way to put icing on that unless you were going to do what you did last time and melt the icing in a cup and just come glaze it over the top. And that's what I thought she was going to do. But no, they were fine. They were delicious.
I would have.
I got the leftovers. I got the rejects. Don't say leftovers. I got the rejects, the ones that would not ever be shown to anybody besides me. It was good.
Well, there's a video coming out tomorrow, and please do not take it as a how-to because, to be honest with you, you're getting the blooper reel tomorrow because I'm telling you, if it could go wrong yesterday, it did. I had to make a trip to the store halfway through. And I don't know. Some people are really big about the birthday. Like the birthday cake is like the biggest to do ever. So I felt like this pressure because like Brie she wanted a helicopter on it, okay? And clouds and all kinds of stuff and wanted me to make these things out of cake, out of icing and stuff. And like, I did my best, okay? I did my best. I'm no cake decorator, and I mentioned yesterday that the day that I said yes was a different version of me than yesterday. But either way, I did it. I ended up having fun, but the blooper reel that you will see tomorrow is he was laughing in the tub watching it, okay?
This is something here. Denise used to make wedding cakes. We did that with the shavings.
Thank you, Denise.
I shaved the cakes.
I had to level the cakes.
And I would spend 8 hours on decorating those too. Yeah, so I got shavings then. Okay, Denise. Okay, they were good. They tasted the same.
Listen, I used a saw, okay? And Lester got the sawed off part.
So I guess that is normal then. So there are shavings off of things when you make it. But it was a beautiful cake, and we had to be very careful throughout the night, make sure we didn't touch it and the dogs didn't get to it. Loading it in the car for her before she left this morning was touch and go, but I'm glad that it went well, and it's wonderful that everyone's already seen the party, I guess, from someone's video.
I think they saw it on Steph's, Jake's, and Bree's. So It's okay. Like I said, the video tomorrow is not a how-to. It is not a how-to. It is not a how-to. It is literally all things that went wrong yesterday.
I was happy to hear that, we took the bouncy houses over. We took the bouncy houses over, and all those had been there for a while. And we woke up this morning and it's pouring down rain. And I'm like, oh, that poor little girl's party is going to be ruined from all the rain, because you want them to be able to go outside and have fun. But from what I understand, Uncle Dan moved everything out of his garage, his shop. No,
Bree's garage.
They were in Bree's garage. The bouncy houses. So Bree's new garage is coming in really handy then.
Mm-hmm.
So they took the cars out and stuff and put the bouncy houses inside the garage.
Just one bouncy house.
Okay.
Just the actual jumping one, which the kids had a blast on, to be honest with you. Like, they had to deflate it to make everybody take a time out to do presents and to sing and everything, because Carter would not come out. I'm not kidding.
Well, that was a great investment then, because that thing it's made 3 different events.
Yeah.
And we've had it for a month.
Yeah.
It made the prom over here. It made Tina and Rob's when they had their party for the granddaughter, Coda had her birthday at Tina and Rob's. And then now it's gone over to Breeze for Cash or Carter. Lester Eugene Morrow.
Yes.
Jr. Anywho, well, that's wonderful. And I'm hoping that they had a great time. I was not able to go, but I will make it.
Everybody wanted to know where
I
you
will
were.
make it up to Carter. I promise you. I love that little girl. So
it was a good time. And Bree had pizza, which was, I haven't had pizza in so long. And I ate a piece of pizza today, and it was really good. It was really good. You didn't eat, did you?
No.
I just saw the look on your face of.
Well, here's the thing, because Jamie was going to cook, and I said, I don't think we have time for you to cook right now, but I'm starving. And I was wondering, how is she not hungrier? And now to find out that she went to the party and probably had pizza and some of that cake.
I did not have any cake.
And so I'm sitting here sipping on a ice water, and I'm thinking, I told Jamie, I got off the road, from Lex after I've been in the car for so long. I says, hey, I need some chapstick. I said, my lips are just all chapped, but they're not. They're just dehydrated from having nothing to eat or drink all darn day. Anyway, I'm fine.
It's his own fault.
I promise you I'll be
not
okay.
Stopping. Did you stop and get Lex something?
No, I did not. But with all the storage places on my body, I'll be fine until the live is over. And maybe we can eat and watch some Yellowstone together. How about that?
Deal.
That'll be fun.
Deal.
I am going to fill up my water. I'll be right back while you keep everyone entertained. Talk about Rita. Just talk about Rita. That's fun.
There's a lot going on with Rita. And I know that people are expecting these grandois things. And we talked a little bit yesterday about, I'm not going to do a lot of videos of that training. I know that Lester is showing some pictures and clips like that. But today I really wanted to I want to go back to basics with Rita, because while, yes, we can work on saddle and reins and all of those things, Rita's number one thing really is about personal space. That in commands and just general respect of human beings. So those are the things that we're taking a step back towards, and they're going to be very basic things, and realizing that Rita's body is growing faster than her brain is, almost like, I hate to use this term, like a middle schooler. In middle school, most kids, I was one of them, thought that I knew everything and that I'm grown up. I can handle it all. It's all fine. When in reality, everything is just going wild. And for Rita, there are parts of her body that are growing faster physically, and that other things aren't fully connecting the dots for you.
Yeah. Either. So like the guy at the feed store told me, he watches the videos and he says, just don't be fooled, because he saw comments of people saying she's old enough to get on her. He goes, don't be fooled by her size. She may be stand as tall as your other horses, but she's not mentally. You got to make sure she's mentally mature. Even though she may already be physically mature, do not rush her. Make sure she's mentally mature. And then another lady, I wish I could remember the names of these people. They deserve credit. But she messaged in the comments and said that she wasn't being critical. And I love what she said here. She says, Lester, I'm not being critical, But something that I've learned and that you might want to pay attention to is that horses, like humans, or they have left and right brained. You know how we always, hey, he's left brain, he's right brained, or whatever. She said that, and I may get this all twisted. I think that what she said was try to lead from the left side, because the left side of a horse's brain is the analytical side, the problem solving, the processing, all of those things. However, the right side of a horse's brain is more of the flight or fight side. And so when you lead your horse, wherever you're going from pasture to pasture or wherever, try to lead from the left side so as Rita can process things. So these are things that I'm learning through the little videos or the pictures or whatever. And like Jamie said, we're not going to rush, guys. And as much as people would probably love to see, the finished product, that a quality product takes time. It's like, you want to do what's right and just take it in a process, step by step by step, very methodical, and just let one thing build to the next and then build to the next. And so space,
the space, the command of whoa, the ability to go in a gate without her crowding a gate, like all of those things are to horses giant, but to us is like so minimal. They should get it, they should understand it, but it actually takes training for her to know that when a human walks through a gate, until you're led through or called through, you actually don't go near the gate. The gate is off limits. So like there are so many things that are really giant for Rita that we have to simplify and do one thing at a time for her. So there's a lot of very intricate things that aren't going to be captured in one day or one setting, and are going to take a lot of repetition as well. And then to be able to replicate at other gates. So if you remember, Rita plows through gates. Rita knows no gate or no fence because she wants to go where Rita wants to go. And
she's a wild child and we love her.
And she's somewhere between 2 and 3 years old, and she's big for 2 and 3. She's going to be a really big horse. So all of these things are like very tiny in our brains. It's very tiny, but in Rita's brain, they're very big, and there's a lot of other influence around her that can impact all of those things. And we have to simplify it enough so that we're focusing on those tasks. So when she is, taking in everything else around her, goats running by and all of the other things, that she can still remember so much about. The number one thing is don't crowd the gate. Don't run over my mom and dad. Those things. Don't spin my butt around every single time that a human walks by, and that type of thing. So we have a lot of very basic things to dial back, and honestly, they're not video. That's not video things because you're working with the horse one-on-one.
Yeah. So no, I think that today was a really special day. We only spent, I would say, about 30 minutes total, but we didn't put a saddle on her. We did not even lunge her. We just said, you know what, let's back up a little bit and get back to the basics, because even though we had learned and seen a lot of things were modeled to us, what we could do with her, we're going to back up even further back. And like Jamie said, spacing and manners and basic commands, vocal commands. Sheesh, Jamie. And then also we took her inside the shop, which was pretty powerful. There were also dogs out and about. And so we did not want to overstimulate her, but kind of in a semi-controlled environment, but learning to walk on the different floors, stepping up onto the concrete, walking through the rocks, back to the grass, just different things that there's so much, Jamie. There's just
many days we'll work on loading and unloading in a trailer. And Rita has done those things, but she's doing them following another horse.
She only follows. She's never learned to do it by herself.
So we have a lot, we have a lot to work on, and it really we really have to simplify it, and it's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah. It is. And it's okay though, because we can, like this morning we tag team it. We got it done pretty early. I know some mornings you're, you have to work or you're traveling, whatever, but the routine that we're putting in place, we're going to devote at least 30 minutes to the training part of our morning to Rita.
But don't think that that's all that happens, because throughout the day as well, when we go out to the pastures, there's like the big lesson, like the big, training session. Because keep in mind that her attention span is also that of a 2-year-old. But then repetition throughout the day of going out there. I walk through the gate and I make her step back, and I don't want her to crowd the gate or to no more petting around the gate. Like there's a lot of things that have to, be both of us in consistency. So we're communicating a lot and interacting quite a bit. And, I think that she's doing really well.
Yeah, I'm really happy. I love her.
One thing that I didn't tell you this, when we pull her out on a rope halter to the courtyard, I'll call it, and the other horses are still there at the fence, she's doing very good in the respecting of the lead rope. She's not trying to run away from us or that type of thing. And I am loving how proud she feels to be the one in the courtyard. I don't know if you noticed that at all, that she will walk taller and sort of look over her shoulder of like, look what I get to do, instead of like.
Well, and today was the first day that we had her into the courtyard with the other horses out in the pasture. Yeah. And of course, they're all making their noises and they're even walking along the fence. They're jealous of her.
Yes.
And Rita knew that. And you can say that horses are not jealous or whatever. I would beg to differ. And I'm not a horse and I don't know how horses think, but I'll tell you what, I know women. Okay. And I know women. Okay. And I can see a look that girls give to other girls when they feel a little bit whatever. And I watched Rita give that same look, like, look at me. Look who's getting the loving today, girls. She may not have been saying that, but I saw the look that she was giving the other girls. Now, listen, Voodoo and Bucky's don't give a darn. Those two guys are too Twilly D and Twilly Dumb. They're like Twilly D and Twilly Dumb.
They're like two chums,
let's go,
man.
Let's go down to the road. Let's go see what's going down the driveway. Come on, Bucky's. I'm coming, Lou. And they're doing whatever they're doing. They don't give a darn. These guys are some goofballs, just big doofuses, both of them. But not the girls. The girls, being Prim and Stormy, were like, what are they doing, Rita? Why they got Rita out? And they're like running around along the fence like, what's he doing with Rita? How come he ain't working with us? And so Rita was loving that. She did. Like you said, she carried herself a little bit more happy, and she was just like really loving life. But
there are a lot of people that want to mark this moment right now that Lester says that he knows women. let's just go with that.
Okay. I didn't say that.
You did say that, actually.
Okay. Anywho, I know men, and I saw Twilly D and Twilly Dumb going off down to the driveway. Didn't know what the heck was going on.
They were both like, let's go throw the football. Like it's like that, And Prim and Storm are like, do you see what she's wearing? Like, what does she do with her hair these days? Like it was very much Regina George moment. You don't know who that is.
I have no idea. Regina George. I have no idea.
That's from a movie called Mean Girls.
Oh, a Mean Girl thing. Okay. No, it was fun though. And then, so we never put the other horses up this time. We worked with Rita while the other horses were out and about. They left her alone.
And she did good. She did really good. I actually felt like she was more paying attention than normal. And I think it really was because she felt special. Yeah.
But also remember, in days past, we put the dogs away. We would not have the dogs running around. Today, we let the dogs out. We left them out. Mm-hmm. And we tried to keep it as normal as possible, trying to not so much overstimulate, but allow the same stimulants that she's going to expose herself to on any given day. Because think about it, you're not going to always have her sheltered and protected in a bubble wrap.
But our dogs don't go after the horses or anything like that. But we've always put them up in the circumstances
so that wouldn't accidentally spook one of them.
So I told Lester that I want to create a horse obstacle course.
She did.
From a training space, because we have a lot of the parts already here, and it's not expensive, but it is really important for them to be able to.
It's not like Ninja Warrior obstacle course, y'all. This is just like learning how to step up, walk through,
have things touch their body as they walk through,
like pool noodles,
and like they can step on a tarp, and that sensation can be very spooky and scary to a horse. But once they overcome that, that's just part of like desensitizing them to things like that. And I'll be honest, it's not just for Rita. Storm needs it too. Storm is very easily spooked, very easily. She is the alpaca of the horses, is the best way I could put it.
Kathleen said I'm drinking like Napoleon Dynamite. You know about that from that scene where he opened. Guys, I'm thirsty. I'm sorry. I'm thirsty. I'm going through 2 bottles of water while I sit here. I am dying of thirst, and I don't know why.
Maybe you're just hungry.
Maybe I'm just hungry, but maybe you're right. Also, when we first sat down, Jimmy goes, "Are you hot?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm burning up." And she goes, "I can feel the heat coming off of you." I'm like, "Well, turn on the AC." And I looked over, house is on 70. It's already 70 and I'm burning up.
I'm over here. I'm like, I'm freezing. And he's like, I can feel the heat.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
He says, I'm the one
she's a sick one. Yeah, she's a sick one. I'm dying of thirst. I'm so sorry I'm drinking so much, but I am so thirsty. I'm dehydrated, Jamie. Keep talking though, please. This is my last glass, I promise.
Anyway, I'm excited to build it. If you have ideas, please send them. I told Lester that we have some 4x4s that were actually part of something I made for the garden that caught on fire a little bit.
Those are half burnt,
but
they're good for nothing, except the obstacle course maybe.
Right, so they're not long enough to be used as like posts for anything, but I could saw them off and use them as the things that they step over. And then we also have this old swing set frame up here, and I want to hang pool noodles from it going like this that you could interchange out with ones that look like fingers to walk through. Have you seen that kind? Anyway, pool noodles are in my future, but it's really important. So Courtney and Ashley have an obstacle course, and there's our railroad ties that are on the ground. And then they have this huge tractor tire filled with dirt that the horses step up on. They have a sand pit. They have a tarp pit. And she has a whole bunch of other stuff too. But I think if we had 3 or 4 elements here that we could utilize, that would be really awesome.
See, I don't have a problem with whatever. I'll help you with whatever, but we're not a horse training facility. We're just trying to get Rita to learn a little bit of mannerism. So I don't know if you want to do all of that. That just sounds like an entire pasture where you send horses to.
No, it's out here in the yard. And you don't send them anywhere. You do it. You walk them through. It's like, I'll do it. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. I'm excited about it now. I think it'll be really good. So if you have any ideas, please send them to me, not Lester. I think that'll be a neat thing to work through.
Yeah.
I will be excited to see if like Prim and Voodoo can do those things, because they both have extensive training in their backgrounds. I think Bucky's does too, but I think Bucky's was more of a ranch horse.
Oh yeah, it's obviously
Bucky's is like a cattle, like a cow horse. Like he has roping in his history and like cutting and things like that, because that's yeah.
No, we can tell that the upbringing, I'll call it the upbringing, but I guess it was just the lifestyle of each of the different horses that are here as rescues are very different. And there's things that Bucky's does and wants to do.
Oh my gosh.
That Voodoo has no desire to do. And, we're learning more about them all the time. So it's really neat to watch.
Voodoo was a stall horse his whole life.
Yeah.
So I knew pieces of that, but I never knew to what extent, because I never knew that horses being in stalls, as much as horses can be in stalls, is actually a thing. I guess it's similar to people that put dogs in crates and things like that. But,
okay.
Voodoo, since the creation of stalls here that he has free access to, he will put himself in his stall.
He spends most of the day in the stall because he wants to.
And that's his norm. That's where he feels at peace. And
that makes me feel happy to see he's so independent. Whereas a lot of the horses want to be close to each other and they'll do whatever the other horses are doing. Vu, on his own, will leave the road. Not the road, but they stand along the road watching cars go by. They're like a couple of old people sitting on a front porch They like to watch cars go by. But I think that they like the attention. People drive by and look at them and probably give them snacks. But the thing is, sometimes Vu on his own will just like turn around and start walking back up to the barn, go inside the stall, go in front of the fan, and just hang out.
Yeah.
And completely happy there.
Yep. And Storm obviously is a seahorse of some sort. Like she swam today. It was cold this morning and she swam today. Like that girl is going to find a way to be in water.
Yeah, she needs a pond.
But Bucky's and his cow, like his knowledge about cattle, and it started when we were trying to load Tex.
Gracie.
It
was Gracie. Yeah.
And he literally.
Well, wait, no, it was Tex. It was Tex, but we used Dixie and Bucky's. Yes, that was Tex. That was before Gracie.
Yes.
We got Tex over here. It was a year later when we tried to get all the Longhorns back. We could not load Gracie, so we had to use Bucky's.
But what I'm saying is that Bucky's was doing it on his own.
On his own, yes, he wanted to help.
And we're like looking at him, going, "Do you know what you're doing?" And he did. Now Dixie, poor Dixie. Dixie had no idea what we were doing. She was willing to help, but she had no idea.
I jumped on her bareback. Just trying to get around and get Tex to load.
And Dixie was a wagon pulling horse. So Dixie was not a riding horse at all. She would pull a wagon. So Lester jumping on her bareback, she was like,
she's a sweet girl.
What is happening? It's so crazy to know the differences in them.
Well, I just think it's like kids, just whatever they're exposed to growing up, So now we got a really neat little, I kind of like to
variety
think of them.
Pack.
No, but I kind of refer back to them as like an aisle of misfits, sort of. And because they're all kind of wonky and in their own way, they all got little issues and things here and there, but we're enjoying them, y'all. So they're a lot of fun, but they're also a lot of work and they're very expensive. So
I love them though. They're the best thing.
A lot of people are asking about the little goats, and I don't know what to tell you more than what I've already said. We had an incident. What day was that, babe? Help me on my dates. Every day feels the same to me.
It was Wednesday or Thursday.
No, it wasn't as late. It was earlier in the week, I think. So we have had a predator issue here over the one night this past week, and something came into the pasture and we lost a couple of our baby goats. So we have done everything that we normally would do as far as trying to figure out what's what and who's who. We've already made those videos and talked about it. I don't want to go through that whole story again, but I will say this, because that's what it seemed like that most people are concerned about, is you're convinced that it was a human that walked in here and took two of those goats, and everything else was just that didn't happen. That did not happen. So it happened after Timeout Tuesday. It was Tuesday
That's why
night.
I said Wednesday morning is when we found it.
Yes. Yeah. The pigs are all okay, but and then the bottle babies are fine. We are having an issue still trying to keep Pollyanna in the, humans would not dig under a fence. And then there are, believe it or not, I'm just going to go ahead and say this, because it's one thing to enjoy conspiracy theories. Okay. Because hey, I have a girl right here that loves to talk conspiracy theories. She loves that kind of stuff, but it's just kind of like when you have something like this over here happen, there was not a human that came over here and purposely put scratch marks in the dirt and purposely moved this over out of the way and purposely did all of these things. And I guess the problem with everything is that I was not able to find an actual track. I could not find an actual blood trail, and I couldn't. But here's the thing. If you remember, we fed those bottle babies, and the whole time I was thinking that something had gotten after them only. I never realized until much later in the day when Jamie discovered the digging. So we'd given too much time to the animals to all up and move about. So at that point, let's just call it the crime scene. The crime scene had been, what would that word be? The crime scene had already been contaminated or so. Sorry.
Yeah. I have some theories. Lester doesn't like them because I'm all over all of the county pages and the local pages.
Oh my golly gee. Are you gonna add that to it? Show them your picture. Show them the picture that I had to look at 100 times.
Hold on.
Oh. If y'all want to take a break, now's a good time to go to the restroom.
Isn't it a good time to take a break? I think that this is what happened. And it might not be this one, but I do think this is what happened.
So Jamie belongs to Polk County. That's here in Texas, Polk County. And they have like a Facebook page where that's devoted to everything in Polk County. And supposedly here in Polk County, they spotted a black bear.
A black bear.
I says, Jamie, that's someone photoshopped that.
They did not Photoshop it. It's on two different
game cameras.
And it's two different angles. And
compromised the crime scene. Yes, compromised, not contaminated.
Anyway, there's a baby black bear that's been spotted a couple miles away from here. And to me, if there's a baby bear, there's a mama. And then I started looking at bear sightings in Texas because I didn't know there were bears in Texas. They're actually all over the place here, mostly in the southwest and northeast. And they're coming together closer and closer and closer every year. This is like 3.5 miles away on a trail camera.
So
that's my theory.
Sasquatch, maybe. Also, you think because there's also been some sightings of Sasquatch.
There are Sasquatch sightings over here too.
That would be Bigfoot to everybody. Yeah, Sasquatch might have been spotted somewhere nearby.
But a bear to me, especially baby bear, that's not like cuddly tiny baby bear. That's still like 200-pound bear. Makes a whole lot of sense to me. It just does. Because it's nothing that we were prepared for or have fencing for. I mean, I don't know that you can have fencing for bears unless you have steel cages that have tops on them. And I don't know. It's scary to me because now it changes everything about how you prepare for that and how you worry and what you think about. But also knowing that what I think happened in the infirmary pasture is whatever got in there, all the alpacas plus ostrich attacked it to make it leave.
Well, before it left, it tore the heck. I almost said the HELL. It tore the heck out of our little fencing. And it bent poles and bent the stakes and bent the gates. And it took a toll. But no, I'm just leaning towards what we already know is in the area. We know there's coyotes. We had to dispose. We sent 3 of them to the Sweet By and By last year. And so we do know that coyotes are here. We know they're a problem. My biggest concern with what happened on Tuesday night is the fact that Fiona never barked enough to get these dogs here up and about. Because normally what happens is when there's something going on outside, and don't forget, Fiona and Millie stay outside overnight. Fiona and Millie will bark a different kind of bark. I don't know if it's the tone or whatever, but sometimes they can bark, and these guys just lay here and just like they never flinch. And we hear them, but they bark, because your dogs bark at whatever. But sometimes
there's
they
bark tones of bark,
a different tone of the bark. And these guys are all up and at the door, or terrified. They run to the bedroom because they're so scared. They're sitting there shaking by the bed, but that gets us up. And when we get up, then we go out with what we have to go out with to figure out what's going on. But on this particular night, I'll be honest, I sleep through most everything, but Jamie doesn't. And Jamie never heard. Mr. David and Miss Pat did hear Millie barking over at their place.
Yeah, Millie was over at their place at about 2:30
in the morning. And when they went outside to check on her, they could hear Fiona over here barking. So there was something between the two properties, and that was the same night that we lost the baby goats.
It's just, I don't know. I know that people say bears wouldn't dig, but bears can dig. And I don't necessarily know that it was digging or scratching. Like, there's so many things that I think about of like how and especially if it's a baby. You know, I like, was it trying to? I don't know. I have no idea, and it could have been a coyote, but.
Well, I just think that it was probably more than one. Now, maybe it was one that got over into the other pasture. And I do believe, and this is what I was reading from you all, because I got kind of upset that, well, how come Annie didn't do her job? And you all reminded me that Annie probably did do her job. That's why
the babies are
whatever walked up along that fence, Annie come over there doing her thing. And probably she pushed and shoved and got all up in that beeswax of whatever it was. And that's how our fencing got all torn up in that pasture. And that's why those babies are okay today, because Annie did her job.
And it could have been a cat. It could have been a cat as well. It could have been a big cat. I don't mean like a farm cat. I mean like a big cat. I don't know. All I know is that our cameras don't pick up that far of motion. Like they will capture things if the motion senses it in close enough.
And plus, the side-by-side was parked in a horrible place. We have not parked the side-by-side there again because it
did block that.
It blocked the entire view. So, friends, I don't know what to tell you. I know we've had questions all week long about that. I'll just say what we said so many times, it feels like, through the years, and I hate saying it. It sounds like we're some kind of a death camp or something. But, you know, you sometimes lose babies, and you lose them to, we've always said, the parasites, predators, and what's the other one we lose them to?
Age.
Well, disease.
Yeah.
You know, there's things that you lose babies to, and you don't like it. You try to do the best that you can. So what we've done to kind of beef up security, if you will, I think the best thing that we did was I put the little red lights out along the ridge. If you guys know what I'm talking about, the little red lights or those little solar powered sirens that go off and they flash the little red light. I have at the JL property.
Accidents, parasites, accidents.
Yeah.
And predators.
So we got the little red light. So hopefully something comes up from the river, then those red lights will blink and make the sounds, and will hopefully spook off whatever it is. But our dogs are normally really good, but I don't know. But
Ritzy's outside losing her mind right now.
I can hear Ritzy out there barking now. But the thing is, a lot of people are saying you should get more of those livestock guardian dogs, like the Sadie type, to live in the pasture. But Annie would never allow that. The alpacas would never allow a dog to live in there with them.
Neither would our donkeys, really.
Neither would the donkeys. So you would be really putting your dogs at risk by having a dog to live with the goats.
I have to go let Ritzy, and she's driving me nuts.
So all I can do is just apologize to you from the bottom of my heart. You know, we love these babies.
Ritzy, get in here.
You do. You know, you. Well, they weren't bottle-fed babies. Neither one of those were bottle-fed babies, but you do love them and you take care of them. You feed them, and you know, I feel bad for Roxy, their mom, because she was the one that was just beside herself. So whatever she watched and had to witness that night was who I feel horrible for. But I give you my apologies, and you know, we have to take ownership. We're the ones. We're in the arena here, so we have to take ownership for the wins and the losses. And this was a horrible loss for us, and I'm just so very sorry. But I am glad that Annie and friends did do their job. Yeah. I was just so caught off guard why Trudy and her friends didn't do theirs, because they've normally been really, really good. Pig Newton and Trudy are just wonderful protectors of those goats and stuff. So I don't know, y'all. I'm as puzzled as you are. Well, change the subject, Jamie. Figure out what we can talk about next while I get me some more water.
That's their.
Yes, I don't know what's wrong with me. So tomorrow you got a video about your cake disaster. How did everyone like the cake? Did you see anyone actually eat it?
There was only one tiny triangle left.
Oh, so everyone ate the cake and you didn't see anyone like.
I will be honest with you. So like I'm really like.
Oh no. What are you embarrassed for? You're hiding your face.
I'm always embarrassed for like to see people like eat something that I've cooked, especially people I don't know. that don't know that I did it. So like during that moment, I snuck away to go play with horses.
So you were afraid of what
I was there for the singing.
This cake sure is dry.
No joke. I was
Did you
there
get
for
this
the
Walmart. This thing is horrible.
I was there for the singing, and then I slid away to go meet Paris and Willow during that time because I didn't want to face it.
Here's what I want to know.
Isn't that horrible?
This is not cake related. This is going back to Paris. But why did Jake not take his horse to our vet? Because if Dr. Cochran or any of those other sweet ladies find out that Jake went to a different vet,
cheated on him. I think
Jake cheated on him.
It was
cheated on him.
It was a
Vets
Friday,
are like that.
It was a Friday afternoon. I have a feeling there weren't any appointments.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is true. Big Thicket is a very busy place. It's hard to get an appointment there. You can't just call in and show up. Now they'll sometimes squeeze us in because we're special, but we know how busy that place is. Always packed, and they have more staff there now. But still, on a Friday afternoon, that probably would have been difficult.
That's all I think it was, to be honest. I'm just glad that he took her because she was sick.
Yeah.
She really is sweet, though. And she has almost like her color in person is different than her color in pictures.
How big is she compared to Breeze horses?
She's about, I don't know about compared to Breeze horse. She's about the size of Storm.
So she's heavy. She's a heavy set horse. Not tall, just heavy.
No, I think she's so like not trim, Storm.
Yeah, Storm is like short and fat.
She is?
Yeah. What's wrong? Don't take it personal.
I didn't think that Storm was
Prim is like a linebacker. Prim is big, not fat, big, right? That makes sense to you, right?
Yeah.
A linebacker in football, he might be 300 pounds. But it's 300 solid pounds. I don't mean big old gut just flapping over his belt. I mean big. And Prim, to me, is just solid. She's a big horse, a big girl, but it's not flabby big. Whereas Storm, no offense to the Storm people who love Storm, but she's short and squatty.
I don't think she's short and squatty. You do?
She is short and squatty. I don't mean it in a mean way.
She's taller than Bucky's. I was gonna say that Paris was about the size of Bucky's, but she's actually taller than Bucky's.
So she's a pretty good size horse then.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a quarter horse.
Where is Christmas? Well, I saw her behind me a minute ago.
She was back here catching flies. Literally, she was just back there like she was like having a moment back here.
So we actually have something that I don't know if we were gifted it or if you bought it, but it's a measuring device that you can actually measure your horses.
Yeah.
That tell you how many hands. So if you don't know this, horses don't go by how many feet tall the way you would think. They go by how many hands. And I don't think it's like these kind of hands.
It's this kind of hand right here. It's here to here. It's 4 inches. A hand is 4 inches.
A hand is 4 inches. So I think, and I don't know this for a fact, but I think that a big horse, what you would consider a big horse as far as height goes, is about 17 hands, right? That would be a big horse. Am I correct on that?
17 hands is a big horse.
So it doesn't have to be like a big Belgium to be 17 hands. But if you ever run across a horse that someone says is 17 hands, it's going to be a pretty good sized horse. But do we have any horses 17 hands? We don't, do we? No. So how tall is Vu? Do you have any idea?
I don't.
This may be a fun video if you haven't already done that.
I did measure, but I don't remember how tall he was. I thought he was like 15.6, something like that, 15.3.
So less than 16 hands then.
I think so. I'll have to do it again.
We did it
at the sanctuary. So,
well, we have that tool here, and I would like to do it and see how it measures up to Prim. Now, it doesn't give us a weight, obviously, but it does tell you how many hands high they are.
Prim has the widest feet. So Voodoo has wide feet. Prim and Voodoo are pretty similar in size wise, but Prim is actually has more broad shoulders and thicker legs.
Well, the guy that brought her swore that she had a lot of draft. I don't know what that really means, but she had a draft look to her.
Yeah.
So
well, her head's giant. Like
yeah,
that.
she's a big girl.
Her head is bigger than any of the other horses' heads. Like as far as halters and things go, like she's got a big old head by far. And the next biggest head, believe it or not, is Storm. And then Voodoo, then Bucky's. And
yeah.
Bucky's has the tiniest ears.
He has little head and little ears. Yeah. I sometimes laugh at him. All right, for whoever you're saying, where's Hank? He's just made his appearance.
Oh my God, don't show him our
I know.
countertop.
Hank, we're over here, buddy, but if you don't
Every
mind.
Sunday you show him my mess.
Well, we have
every single Sunday.
We live in a real home and we have real things. There's Ritzy. Over there's my sweet girl, Stella. Hey, Stella. Hi, sweetie. Hey, love. Stella can't hear a darn thing. But they're all here. And then I saw Trixie over here. Trixie's over there eating. And
I think Rita's probably going to be closer to 17 hands by the time that she's done growing. Rita's going to be our tallest horse. She's not going to be thick, I don't think. What do you think? Because I think that she has some thoroughbred in her.
No, I just picture Rita having some really long legs. I don't know how you identify and name horses like thoroughbred, or I have no idea all that stuff. But I do think that Rita's going to be a tall horse with really long legs.
Rita's a racehorse.
Thin body.
I'm telling you.
Oh, Lord.
But she's hot-blooded, and I think that she has some Arabian in her.
She's a firecracker. I'll say that. She's a firecracker, but I'll also say that she's my favorite. I love that girl, and she loves me. Say what you want to, but I can read it. I can see it in her eyes. And even when she bites me, I can know it's just love. It's just love. She just doesn't know how to show her love. So sometimes it may be a bite or something, but she loves her some Wetter.
I think she likes to make you scream.
So can you do a DNA test of horses to find out what their blood type? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
So I bought this earlier this year. I bought 4 things to be able to do for DNA test. And I downloaded all the forms and was ready to do it. I actually cut their hair to be able to do it. And then when I went to go upload the information and like prepare to send it in, it told me that I had to pull 40 pieces of hair by the root out.
Oh, no, don't do that. No.
So I was like,
we don't even care that much.
That's exactly what I like. I paid for it and everything, but I'm not ripping 40 pieces of hair out at the root.
That's crazy. With our ostriches, we just took a little bit of blood. One little sample of blood is all it took to tell us if they were male or now that was for sexing. It may not be the same.
When Cochran comes this week, because I probably didn't tell anybody that yet. Dr. Cochran's coming this week.
Yay, Dr. Cochran will be here.
When Dr. Cochran comes this week, I will ask her about DNA tests if there's one that we can do that's blood, because I would rather do that 100 times than to rip any. Like, I just thought that was so brutal. Like, I would have got down with a piece.
Yeah,
a piece or 2. I can do that to myself. It just pinches a little bit, but no way on earth you get 40 pieces of hair by the root. That's horrible. That can draw blood.
Yeah.
No thanks. So anyway, that's where I'm at.
Okay. Friends, listen, unless Jamie has something else going on, we are at our hour. And we also need to go watch us some Yellowstone. And I really hate to say this, but I really have to eat. I really do feel weak.
This is the truth. He's down to his last couple swallows of water.
Something's wrong with me. I'm telling you right now, something is wrong
with me. And he's terrified that he's going to run out. And he doesn't want to be embarrassed by going to get another bottle of water.
Listen,
he's hangry.
I feel weak. Like I feel dehydrated, and I think I need to go sit down and eat something. And I'm so sorry, but a guy my size has to eat. And maybe it's my blood sugar's low. Maybe my blood sugar's low. But I really do want to hang out with you. You can keep talking if you want to.
No, it's okay. We actually have not sat down together since coffee this morning because I went my way, he went his, and we had just stuff to do. So we're going to hang out and watch Yellowstone. I'm going to cook some dinner, and we're going to catch you tomorrow.
That sounds so good. Dinner.
Oh, I thought you meant Yellowstone.
Yes, Yellowstone and dinner. But I want to remind you guys, if you have a chance to say a little prayer for that sweet fella over there, Jeff or Eric, whatever, just say a prayer for this fella and for his family, for what he's going through. And I know there's a lot of people who have similar things going on. It was just a really touching message that I got from his wife, and I just feel horrible for anybody going through stuff like that, you know. But her story just touched me in a weird way, because I do know how it feels when you depend on somebody and then they're not there to be, you know, when and you have to kind of, your whole life has to shift and change. And I know you guys have to feel that, especially some of the folks who talk about people they've lost in their life and how you have to kind of revamp yourself, and you lose a partner, someone you've been with for years sometimes, and then you got to have a reset. You got to have a reset button somewhere. And so luckily, you know, Jeff is still with us and everything's going to be fine. I'm sure of it. But even going through the process of having a sick loved one and having to figure out how all that's going to work out must be just so darn scary. So
fully agree.
But thank you all for watching, and thank you all for keeping us in your thoughts and this family in your thoughts. Everything's going to be fine. I can't wait for Jamie's cake video. I didn't saw a snippet of it, and it's hilarious.
It's going to be a good week, y'all. Thanks so much for taking the time to hang out with us tonight, giving us the greatest gift of all, which is your time, by allowing us into your homes and phones. I know Lester will be live every day, but I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Happy Yellowstone.
Thank you all for watching, and we're going to end this thing right where